journalist Shikib Nazari is with us live from Kabul tonight. How bad is it, Shikib?
Thanks a lot for having me for tonight's interview. It was a very bad day and also a night for Afghan people, especially on the eastern Afghanistan, because around 1:53 a.m. Tuesday, an earthquake on about 5 and 9 magnitude just shocked everyone because all of the residents were asleep, and during that they lost everything that they have, and also it has lots of financial damage. And according to the government authorities, especially National Disaster Mahlawi Shamsullah Muslim, more than 1,000 people lost their life, and also more than 1,500 people injured in this incident. And also some people are buried inside their houses, and residents and also government authorities are trying to take them alive from the incident place.
Tell us a little bit about this part of Afghanistan, the life there, the population.
Especially in Khost province on Saperi district, there are more residents of Pashtun race who are there, and they work on the agriculture side, especially also on the Paktika, and also in Nangarhar provinces, because these 4 provinces are the places that have lots of damages due to the incidents, and they are the local people who are just working on the agriculture side, and the most populations that they were had that was on Paktika province.
How is the government, the Taliban, handling all of this? I hear they are asking for international help as well.
Yes, they had asked for the international helps, because their authorities today on the media news brief just asked about the international helps, because they have least equipments to work on this case, because right now they don't have more equipments to dig or to work on the health sections, and also the Red Cross organization and other UNIMOS sections are working alongside with the Taliban authorities to help the poor people and the victims of these incidents.
Right. Shikib Nazari in Kabul tonight, I thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Very, very bad day in Afghanistan today. To talk more about earthquakes, with us now is Professor Shmuel Marco, expert on geophysics from Tel Aviv University. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Jacob.
First of all, in that part of the world, was it a surprise to see such an earthquake in Afghanistan?
Unfortunately, not at all. Afghanistan has suffered damage from earthquakes in the past century or so, I think several times. If I remember correctly, the last one was in about 20 years ago, and hundreds of people perished. And the reason is that Afghanistan and the neighboring Pakistan are on the boundary between 2 tectonic plates. India is pushing north and squeezing Asia. And this is how the Himalaya mountains are formed. And this is part of this tectonic push, which will continue to create earthquakes and damage.
Mm-hmm. Let's move now to the constant risk of earthquakes in the Middle East. And the question is, are we going to see the big one coming here?
No doubt. The question is just when. And why I say it? Because we know from history that history is riddled with destructive earthquakes, more or less every 100, 150 years we have a destructive earthquake, and the earth has not changed its behavior, so the past is the key to the future. We will continue to see more and more earthquakes.
So it's only a question of when. Now, this is also a tectonic issue, right?
Yes, we also live on the plate boundary, two plates, Sinai, Israel, and on the west, and Jordan and Arabia on the east. And they grind against each other. The only thing that stopped them is the friction between. Any time that the forces overcome the friction, we see a jolt and a strong earthquake, and this has been happening for the past 20 million years, and it will continue.
Will we have any warning signs before it happens?
Not a long-term warning. Israel has constructed an early warning system which will give a warning several seconds before the earthquake happens. Actually, it will issue the warning only after the earthquake has already happened, because the seismic waves travel in a certain velocity, like more or less about 5 kilometers per second. So if it happens along the Jordan Valley, in Tel Aviv, we'll have a few seconds. And if you're asking whether we can do anything, the answer is yes, but only automatically. If you tell me now that in a couple of seconds there's going to be an earthquake, I'll scratch my head. I won't do anything constructive. But automatic things like slowing trains so they don't derail, or bringing elevators to the story, not get stuck between, or put in safe place all sorts of hazardous materials, radioactive materials, and so on.